o'clock. I'll call our agenda setting meeting of November 6th to order, and we are holding it at the community center due to some conflicting meetings in the city hall. So let's see, turn it over to Jeff. How do you want to proceed?
I just want to go in order.
Sure.
All right, so
All right, I'm ready.
hear from Jen. Good.
Oh, okay. The library has been busy preparing for our new workers. So Rebecca's last day was October 28th, and our new hire will start November 10th. Interviews were done by the appointed hiring committee from the library board, and they have recommended Michelle Johnson for the position with approval of the council tonight, which is on the agenda. We will be hosting Jay Graham Photography on November 12th at 1 p.m. Jay will be taking us on his Detour Minnesota series. It's Beyond the North Shore, Iron, Timber, and Tales of Northeast Minnesota. And he's customizing it just for us because he's not completely done, so he wants to get some of our area in there too. And this program has been funded by the Friends of the Library. We completed our 4th quarterly sampling numbers, and we have a 4% increase of visitors this year from last year. So that was exciting to see for us. Lots of new plans for programming coming in the new year, so please look for updates and schedules for new events. And we will be closed on November 11th in observance of Veterans Day, and on behalf of the library, we thank all who have served.
Good. Not that we don't enjoy hearing from Bob when he comes up and everything. At the CAP meeting, the Quake Lakes Library in Lammy was commenting on the very well-documented shift to digital offerings. Is that what you're experiencing also?
Yeah, a lot of people are using more digital audiobooks and Libby for their ebooks. And
yeah.
We still have good circulation in our library, but yeah, nationally it has changed.
Yeah, it's just an interesting comment.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Jen?
Or any questions about the new hire before I leave for the night?
Pardon?
The new hire on the agenda, if there was any questions on that I could answer.
No, sounds good. I'm glad you were able to find something. I'm
Me
sure it's
too.
an attractive working environment, and good luck with that.
Thank you.
So, Jeff, do we have, is there going to be, yeah, there is. Josh?
Yes, I believe Josh will be covering the larger projects. But there's been quite a bit of activity at the Spec Building and Industrial Park over the last couple of weeks. IRRR had a professional production crew actually come out and do the promotional video for it. Did some interviews, interviewed with city staff, interviewed some locals, went out there, took some aerial shots, got some good pictures of the building. They're going to put together a promotional video for that. In the meantime, there's been 2 or 3 more companies that have walked through. Still no 2 companies alike, which is interesting. Companies from different sectors, and some startups, some expansion, some local, some not. So there's been a wide variety there. There was some back and forth on exactly how much is going to get done this year. The latest, and this may change yet this week or next, the top lift of asphalt will not be going on out there. The standard practice, at least for city projects, is to hold off. Then there was a plan to actually complete it. Right now, it is scheduled for a final lift of asphalt next spring, but there's been a lot of talk about that. So if it changes and you see paving equipment out there, don't be too shocked. The CASAL 100 meetings, and Josh probably have more on this. We met last week or earlier this week at the Midway building to talk about the staging and then the public input. There'll be a meeting here November 13th. People to come in and see what it looks like. Be larger exhibits so people can actually visualize what's going to be dug up. And we'll be working on publicizing that to get the word out. People should get mailed notices. We'll have stuff online. We'll post things to try to get the word out as much as we can. And a lot of activity, a lot of discussion with the joint water project and the water board. All the stuff has to come together now for the actual project, and then getting into the governance has been discussed. There's Agreement on the table, drafted and revised a couple times by Freiberger, Buchanan Smith, and Frederick out of Duluth, which is, if I could handpick a legal firm to do this, I wouldn't pick anybody but Freiberger. They're the ones to go to on this. But there's gonna be a lot more talk on that coming up yet.
Yeah, and Mia's, of course, been with this since we formed the joint powers, so that's particularly helpful to have that continuity and perspective and everything else. So, yeah, good. I don't know about the rest of you. I had a question when I was looking at the bond rating letters and everything. There was a wealth of data in there that I don't profess to understand. Not necessarily here, but could we have sometime an explanation of what that actually means? And
Just like how Moody's ranks, or what?
well,
the criteria?
they have endless amounts of data, which is one of the more rich sources I've seen anyway. So near that, and to try to better understand, like for instance, they put our population at 1857. I didn't know we had anything like that. I'm kind of curious. Traditionally, we've hovered around 1,700, right? Yeah. And just some other things. So just a personal request, but does that echo any of your feelings or what
I guess I agree.
So you're looking for an explanation of Aurora's bond rating or bond ratings in general?
the accompanying materials that had the data that was the underlying data that motivated them to the A2 bond rating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in here. What I didn't understand is we don't have any long-term liabilities left. It looks like those all went away. So I don't know, maybe we paid them off. It just, they were high in 21, even in 22, and then 23, 24, they're gone completely.
Yeah. I'm sure there's an explanation, but I thought one of our bond things was going off record. Wasn't that on the old water treatment plant or something that goes off at 27 or something?
2015 reconstruction project should be.
Oh, that's a ratio.
What's that?
The 2015 reconstruction project?
No, those are in 2030. 2030 and 2030. I didn't.
He said there was a big one that just fell off this year, if I remember.
Yep.
On it.
The wastewater one.
Oh, it did this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because then that lays the groundwork for taking on the new debt for the wastewater, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Huh. Well, interesting. Let's see, should we turn to Josh, or you got anything else? Or Lindsay, anything? Nope. Kimberly, you don't have to push numbers right now, okay? So, turning to Josh then. Josh, you still there with us?
Josh, do you have updated the council?
I'm having audio issues on my end. I can barely hear you guys unless you speak directly into the microphone. So I don't know how conducive it'll be to interact back and forth. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right now we
Say
can.
yes.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me loud and clear, Josh? Because it's
Yeah.
really loud with this in here.
You have to.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear when you speak into the mic.
So the only way we can talk to him is through that one mic.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll pass it around.
There
It's
you
not
go,
a-
yeah, so tell him to take it away.
I mean, the other option would be to with your Teams meeting on your computer, you call in with a phone and use that as the mic. I don't know if that would pick it up better.
I don't know what that means, so we'll use that.
Okay, we're gonna go with Mike, Josh.
Okay. I don't know what you covered, Jeff, as far as meeting with the county previously. Was it Monday?
Yeah, just so we had a meeting to discuss the phasing and then the November 13th public input meeting, or public information meeting.
Alright. Now I'm back.
Now,
And EPM issues.
much better. Well, sort of. Okay,
No, Jeff, I don't know how much you updated them on the county meeting. I think the main thing was the detour discussion. There was a lot of discussion as far as using Erie Street and Central as the designated detour. I think the county's intent at this point is to use it as the truck detour as well. And so knowing it's a city street, not designed to take that level of traffic, both weight and number of vehicles overweight, there's some consideration that needs to be given by the staff and council on if we want to allow trucks. I don't have a lot of concerns about cars. I mean, that's going to be the unofficial detour, even if we said no completely, I mean, that's the route people are going to use. But we would have some influence over the heavier vehicles. Those are the ones that typically do the damage anyways. And so something we'll have to think about a little bit further. That roadway itself, I mean, both of them, we just chip sealed it, so that helped. But both those pavements are, I think, close to 30 years old. So, I mean, they are nearing their end of life. And so if we go run trucks over it for a year, maybe two, I think we're going to see that. And so it's something to consider. The county did say, well, hey, we'll fix whatever we wear out. Well, they didn't give a strong indication of what that means, right? We need to fully rebuild the whole road. Are they going to pay for that? It wasn't clear to me whether they would do that. So.
questions on the detour route? No, I guess, not knowing if you can hear me, I don't think anybody else is saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Lindsay was holding it, I could hear Jeff, but then I couldn't. When Lindsay was holding the mic, I couldn't hear you, Doug. And now with Jeff holding it, I can generally hear Doug.
Okay.
Pass it.
The other updates I have, we're wrapping up the community project. Obviously, we're across the highway. Highway's open, hoping to get that paved. We have 3 water services left. I know there was some freezing on 1 or 2 of them last night. We've been pushing the contractors as much as we can. I think by tomorrow all the water services will be in. So going into that cold night tomorrow, we shouldn't have any issues. So.
Hey, Josh, it's John.
Yep.
That detour, you know, I just wanted to pass on the feedback I got loud and clear from most of the residents of Sunset, since I live there. You know, for future detours, the speed was a real issue, people coming through, and I anticipate next year it's going to be an issue going up Central. So maybe we can get some law enforcement to sit there every once in a while and take it and get the word out. Obviously, the truck traffic through Sunset was excessive, which wasn't supposed to happen, so you're talking about that for next year. And then there were some bottlenecks created when citizens parked on the street, so maybe putting up some no parking signs. I know Central doesn't have a lot of back-to-back, there's a park on one side and that sort of thing, but some of those key areas, maybe put up some no parking so residents don't park. And that might not be the same problem as you have in Sunset, but it could be an issue on your street from time to time.
Yeah, no, those are all good points. When we met with the county on Monday, I think everyone in the room agreed, like, we're not going to use that as a detour again. It worked in a pinch and it was short term, maybe a day or two longer than we'd liked, but I don't see that being a detour again in the future. It was just too painful. But agree on the no parking signs on Central and Erie. It's a 32-foot street, so you get people parking on both sides. It just gets too tight. And so the other point we talked about kind of at length on Monday too was the 4-way stop at the 4th and Central too. And I think we kind of left, assuming we probably want to pull the stop sign on Central, just so we're not on the designated detour creating a bottleneck. But then everyone in the room also acknowledged speeds are going to be a concern as well. And so really the only way to address that is enforcement. So that was definitely something we talked about at length on Monday.
And then one last thing with the current work that's being done, all of the detour signs are still up and not covered. Is that supposed to be like that, or is it supposed to be done?
No, I've asked them multiple times. I'll push again, so I apologize. I've been pushing those guys to get those picked up. So.
Okay, that's all I got.
We do have two of these, you know. Go ahead, Josh. I don't think there are any counselor questions.
No, I have no more updates on that, Mr. Mayor.
Anything continuity division or there's a lot of activity.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I don't know if Jeff shared his update, the good news that we heard from Minnesota Housing Partnership.
Yeah, it's in correspondence. Yeah, 250,000.
Yeah. So I guess just to refresh everyone's memory, back in May we put a grant into the Minnesota Housing Partnership for $250,000 for phase one of the Liz Lagarde addition. And so we found out like 2 weeks ago verbally, and then I think the official notice came last week via email that we were successful in that $250,000 ask. And so that kind of puts that project into gear, and we'll have to start planning and moving that one forward. So we got the $250,000. There's a 1-to-1 match on that. And so that'll be something we have to start talking about too, is where does that additional match come from? And when we put the grant application together, it was for putting the street in. Obviously, the utilities went in with the community project, and just so the council's aware, from a street vision perspective, it would look very similar to the Holland Drive addition and those streets. I think they're 24 feet wide. There's no curb and gutter. It's kind of got that rural, natural feel. Kind of looks a little bit better. You don't have the curb and gutter urban feel. But the benefit, you don't need storm sewer because we don't have curb and gutter, so we save some money as well. So, but overall, good news. I mean, it seems like grant has just been the buzzword the last couple of years.
So that money, will it take it to the point of pre-sale sort of condition for individuals, or is that just another increment toward that?
Yeah, it should open up 10 to 12 lots to build on and develop. So
Yeah, I would think Janelle, the extra quantity, would appreciate passing that along to the prospective businesses. It goes hand in glove with the employees being able to do some more.
yeah, that is a good point.
The other grant related news, under 17.1 that over on 6th Street South, still trying to line up a meeting and actually get some agreement from those property owners. In the meantime, we did submit a pre-application to CDBG for the option with the low pressure line in order to lead that issue. The pre-application was accepted, which is kind of a given. I don't know how many pre-apps they deny. But the pre-app was accepted, and then December 1st is the deadline to put something in, to put the final application. So Josh and I will be working on that as well.
I have a question. Jeff had mentioned earlier about the overlay in the industrial park. Is that turn lane off 135, is that being done, or will that be done this year yet?
The striping?
No, the turn lane. Into the industrial.
The turn lane's paved, so it exists. It didn't get striped yet, so I'm pushing them to get that striped.
And then the rest of it up at the north end, the access into that that lot that were the cement contractor's lot.
The Warrens.
Yeah, is that all taken care of in that and the trail as well?
Yeah, good question. So the Masabi Trail connection still has to get done. Very likely will be next spring before that's completed. There's a gravel driveway to that concrete business. I'd like to get the driveway apron put in as well, at least through the ATV trail. But that would be all part of that Masabi Trail connection piece next spring. So that will still be through AP with you and to get that work done. So we did a punch list walk on Friday that was one we spent some time talking through how that needs to look. We didn't design it yet because we didn't know where the final grading would land, and so we wanted to kind of wait and see. Just with all the contaminated materials that we had on that north end, we just didn't know where we would land. And so now that we're kind of near the finish line, we can get that laid out. And honestly, the goal is we're going to kind of work with you and to field fit it and not spend a ton of time designing a bike trail that's 10 feet wide. So it's a pretty straightforward. Everyone was very comfortable in grading in if I can stake an alignment to get that connection made. So
we've got.
that answer your question, Counselor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Josh, well, this one, can you hear me?
No, it's
Did that
turned on.
make
You have
sense?
to turn it back on.
Oh, hey, Josh, and maybe Jeff, I was reading through the IRRB grants recently, they gave a grant for land, for, streetscape. I don't know if we still have that program, but I was wondering if that's something we could look into for North Main. They gave you like $50,000 for a park addition up there. So I don't know if that streetscape, grant program is still alive, maybe we can use that to offset some of the costs of North Main, or maybe that parking lot that the, First Place Market, or the Main Street Market is looking to replace also. I know they gave you 50,000, it was in their email that they sent out there.
Okay. Yeah, we can take a look. That may also be one of the ones that's also available to non-governmental entities. So if there's any other places in town that want to use that for like, caring for the kids or something, and maybe mixing and matching with another program too. But.
It was just something I didn't know about, but it's different than the culture and tourism grant type thing, different pot. So.
Yeah, I'll do some digging. I got the same email today. I haven't dug through what was in the packet.
All right.
Totally unrelated, but Jeff and I were at the CAP meeting, and we got a chance to talk to Julie Marinucci. Is it Marinucci? Yep. Yeah. The St. Louis County Lands Management person, and we were telling her about our problem facility near the school there. And at least my takeaway, maybe it's something different, was that she said if it has been in tax forfeit posture for at least 7 years, that there's an automatic provision by which cities can apply and get the tax forfeit without having to pay for it, right? Mm-hmm. So we've got to do a little research on that, but that was, and we told her that it was a non-buildable lot, 30 feet wide. She said, I'm not going to buy that. She said, maybe an ordinary house, but there are houses that go on 30 feet. I think it's 30 foot lot, isn't it? Anybody with information. Anyway, so a little bit of progress. So this is an awkward moment. We never have time left of our agenda setting meeting. Isn't there anything else that someone has to bring up? So, well,
Just that Josh is frozen. Josh is frozen.
so Josh is sharing back, yeah. So, just out of curiosity, because it'll probably come up in the next couple of weeks, where do we stand? And then in terms of the bond request, some of those were numbers, if we got a bond request, were targeted right to the spurs off of the North Main project. Is that that's kind of my recollection, is that yours?
What was the question? Some of that you were breaking up, Mr. Ringer.
Oh, just that, the legislative session's coming up. I believe we have a bond request for $5 million in for it. Is that, as far as you know, correct?
As far as I know, correct.
All right. And that bond request is largely targeted for the expenses of the spurs off of the North Main Facade 100 project, or did we put in other things related like First Avenue, or I guess I don't recall, but we're going to get into that season where it's important to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't involved with putting that together this year, so I can't speak to the specifics of what was in there.
Fair enough. Any other questions? Nope. I think we've gotten our staff presentations. Lindsay, anything else? No. Well,
Who put that $5 million request in then? I mean, who put what in it?
well, it's been a variable entity, I think, hasn't it, over the course of the last year.
But does Jeff have the documents he needs to take it to the legislature? Jeff Anderson.
Jeff Anderson.
I was gonna say, are we on my computer somewhere?
You can announce the community center, the final product.
Yeah, right. So, well, I'm sure we can use the money. I just try to figure out how we package it and what we're requesting, because my name has changed. But yeah, maybe we could review that at our next meeting, right? Because it's a February session, so it's not going to start right away in January, but it's going to be coming up. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like we have a package in. Do we? I mean, because if nobody put it together.
There's been some documentation in the request that was in that. Who would know this?
Well, Jeff Anderson would know for sure, but it would have been in by July 15th.
Yeah, right.
For the session, so it's whatever in our.
And I thought we put in one, and we decided, no, now we could change it, and then we may be going back to the original one. I think it's real money.
We should check with Jeff to make sure he's got everything he needs.
Yeah.
You can announce the community center, the renovations, publicly.
Right now.
Publicly right now,
Yeah, right now, it's mine.
we're in the greatly, beautifully renovated
Yes.
Aurora Community Center. There are no hammers or, oops, I'm off. There are no hammers or visible working people, so I'm assuming it's largely complete, and the parking lot is an amenity that's yet to come, right? That's part of the Casal 100 project. Yeah. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Big motion.
Moved by Councilor Hess, supported by Councilor Berquist. Seeing no opposition, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we stand adjourned. All right, the internet tells us it's now at least 5:30, so I will call our regular first of the month or city council meeting of November 6th to order. We're at the Aurora Community Center, and with that, we have a roll, please.
Gregor?
Here.
Berquist? Here. Hanson?
Here.
Hess?
Here.
McClousich?
Here. I don't think we need the mic though. 'Cause
I don't
we
need
can-
it.
For the camera's sake, you don't need that mic. If you want it.
Perfect.
We'll need
All right.
And then we'll
We'll
just
just
mute
need a backer
him, just
read.
mute him, because when Josh comes on, we'll have to talk to Josh, but he's only working closed session, so that's, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Impressive.
Do we have a flag, right? All right, so can we stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving back to the consent, or to the agenda, we've got agenda item 4 is the consent agenda. It's that portion of the agenda matters that are considered more routine and often are all adopted through a single motion and action unless any counselor has something that they would like to have removed for separate consideration. So counselors, any matters to be removed?
We did have an update to one of the meeting minutes for 10/7, so that was the only thing.
I didn't catch it.
There was an update to the meeting minutes on 10/7 because there was an error in it.
Oh, okay.
I talked to Lindsay about it already.
So we'd be
Approving it.
adopting essentially that amended version of the minutes there, all right? Any other requests to pull or modify anything in the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Councillor Hess and supported by Councillor Hanson. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda is adopted. Moving next on the agenda to appearances and public forum, we have 2 members in the audience. And I gather from what was just said that you don't need a microphone, but if you could just identify yourself for the record that's being made, and you can approach us. You don't have to sit back there unless you want to. So, Johan, do you want to?
Good afternoon, or good evening, Council. Johan Winkler, I'm here just to give an update on the North Main / Main Street Market project. We're looking really good. A lot of progress has been made in the building. We figured out a lot of the heating, cooling issues in the basement and upstairs. We just got our lease purchase agreement back from the HRA's attorney. We sent that back, so we're looking to sign that pretty quick here. So now that we have that lease purchase agreement in the works, we've opened back up talks with the HLB. We're going to pursue some more funding from the county, and we started hiring some local people from around Aurora. And that's always been a very big priority for us, and locals. So
No regulatory roadblocks yet, or
no, there's also good news with the NDA. We don't have to work with the health department at all. With the butcher and deli, it's all through the Department of Ag. We're still a bit specific on some build out stuff, but working with them, we've actually found a really great butcher to come work with us, and we'll get his input on designing the butcher shop around his needs and what he wants, what he doesn't need, what he wants equipment wise, and submit that all. Do that before we submit to the NDA. And now with this lease, the NDA is looking really good. Still very 45-day process, but we should be good there.
well,
Yeah, so it's looking really good.
well, good news to hear, and yeah, just to clarify, the document you're referring to is a lease purchase agreement, right? Yeah.
Start with the lease, and then I believe the most current is $2 million of sales, or anytime year 2 is when we would have an option to purchase the building. So, but other than that, the lease works great. Anything we get from the HRA, we feel very confident working with that moving forward. So, is there any questions or concerns with the project?
Yeah, I appreciate the update. It's good. We're, I think, all individually monitoring it, and
I just had a question. I've wondered it once before. I meant to ask you before. You're talking deli. Are you talking just a takeout deli, or you're not going to plan to have seating in?
If you've been in the building, the area everybody stood in on Pumpkin Fest, that would be a seating area, along with.
Oh, okay.
Are you gonna plan outside? We'll also have some seating.
The reason I wonder is that going to enter into like restaurant type regulations and.
No, you're allowed to have some seating as long as it's not.
Okay.
As long as there's no menu brought to you, and there's a couple different specifics, but we'll follow everything, and there's nothing to worry about there. So.
Okay. Good.
okay. Thanks very much for the update.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. That's good. Cheryl, you said you wanted to address the council?
Yeah, I'm Cheryl Whitman, over on our head. I just had a couple of quick questions. Has anyone with the city signed an NDA for anything?
No?
I'm sorry,
Has anyone with the city signed an NDA?
with non-disclosure agreement with whom? With the grocery store?
No, with anyone.
I'm sure in the history of the city we have. I don't.
And it's for like.
I don't think-
Recently,
Yes,
or
yes.
how specifically?
Well, what is the policy on the city's signing an NDA with a corporation or a company?
Well, I just have to fall back on my prior experience. The governmental units can sign non-disclosure agreements subject to the Data Practices Act which applies to all the dealings of a city. And I think the outside parties that aren't quite familiar with that have learned to adjust their non-disclosure agreements to allow us to do what we legally have to do, but also to try to respect that some confidentiality during the development stages helps the deal go forward. I don't know.
I was just
Anybody
wondering if we could be like Superior and have our mayor ban NDAs by city staff. Because it goes a long way to prove trust between the council and you and the citizens, that transparency of all of them in the community.
You might be using non-disclosure agreement in a different way than I'm familiar with. This normally non-disclosure would be for a proposed developer between that and a governmental entity or a business entity or a bank or something like that. Is that? Huh?
I know what I'm using it for.
Okay, all right.
I was just wondering what the city's policy was on having an NDA with the company.
Well, I don't know if we have a new administrator, and I'm sure the staff could look where we've signed it before. I don't think we have a policy though, do we?
I haven't seen anything. I know
No.
I haven't come across anything. I haven't.
Was I correct in listening before that Lane 55 is no longer going to be used as a detour?
That seemed to be my takeaway.
No, it won't be.
Yeah.
You hired a lobbyist. What projects are you looking for money for?
So all this is public record. You can look at the agreement for the lobbyist if you like. It's a public document. It's not a project specific. It's an arrangement we've used quite fruitfully over many years. But I don't think I'm supposed to necessarily get engaged in a discussion here. I'm just so we could notice your concern, and then you could
Yes.
follow up with the administration about it. Yeah. All right. Thanks for the comments. And nobody's online, right? So we'll move ahead with the. We've had our reports from staff members, which is agenda item 11. And community comments. I don't think we've had anything there. So then we move down to our reports from councilors, and Councilor Berquist.
Sure. Fire department, they participated and helped host Pumpkin Fest last month. Everybody knows about that. We're still working with, North Span is still working on looking for grant funding for the feasibility study of whatever, the different fire district models that they were talking about as we discussed prior to. So that was brought up at least arrangement cars for last week. I do want to say thanks to them, the fire department, and everyone else who responded to the fire on 3rd Avenue last month. And our hearts go out to the family that lost basically everything, including their pets. Misaki East Annual Veterans Program is on Tuesday next week.
Do you know what time that is, by the way?
9 a.m.
9. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you to all the veterans who have served. And then just a reminder that calendar parking did go into effect November 1st. I know we haven't had snow yet, so it's kind of not felt like we should be done with that, but it did go into effect. Not so soon. That's all.
Snow at the city garage.
Well, not maybe snow, right?
Is that blow over from the neighbors or that?
That's all.
All right, thank you, Councilor Berquist. Councilor Klasich.
Well, I'd like to thank all the vets also on their day and every day. So Richard, thank you, and all the other vets. From a parks perspective, I just heard this afternoon, Jeff, when I was walking over. Peterson will be back on Monday to work on the performing shed. And at this time, they indicated they would stay until their portion is completed, and they anticipate that would take 2 or 3 weeks. So we're going to have to line somebody up to do the inside, as soon as we can, if we want to use that facility this winter. EHRA is still engaged with the First Street Market, as Johan has indicated. We support it fully, and they're in a good spot right now, it sounds like, so all the best. That's what I've got.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Hanson.
Just two quick things that, due to the holiday on Tuesday, and thank you from me to the veterans, men and women served. The Downtown Beautification Committee meeting that was scheduled for that day is going to be canceled for the month of November, so that'll. And also, I want to give a shout out and a pat on the back to all the people, the volunteers that work at our community food shelf, and encourage people watching, if you've got some time and a little extra, they could use it. You can get a hold of them or somebody that works out there to find out what they can use the most. Also, next week, Masaba East is having a food drive for the local food shelf, the 10th through the 17th. So if you can get more, further information if you get a hold of the school. And I think they're taking donations at the school, or they say you can send it with your student to drop off. So it's a good, these kind of some volunteers that I think are unseen by the community. Yeah. And I think what they deserve are thank you. That's all I have.
Yeah, just on the food shelf, from past experience, I assume all of ours, cash is king in terms of a food shelf like that. Their buying capacity is much greater than us going to a supermarket and things. So I'm sure they'd welcome any contributions at this particularly challenging time when SNAP benefits are up in the air. But yeah, it's the unsung heroes. Quite a group that works there. So thank you, Councilor Hanson. Councilor Hess.
Got a few items here. We've got a new mechanic that'll be starting at the garage on the 17th of November. On next Thursday, on the 13th, there'll be a County Highway 100 meeting here from 5 to 7. They'll have handouts of how the going to be laid out to do in sections. Meter routes will be marked on it. They'll have all the handouts here. It'll be just an informational meeting where you can go around and look. There's going to be no sit down. You can ask questions to the people that are presenting. City crew has put up their sand salt. That's all ready to go for the winter. You see a big tarp over the top of the shed. That's because for 20 years we've been bypassing it. Building, instead of putting one up, it leaks like a sieve, so we got to put something on the roof to keep the sand salt dry. Then the city crew is busy sweeping again, getting all the leaves up, so we get them out of the gutters before snow. So that's about it.
Great. Appreciate all the activities people don't recognize often enough. All the work the councilors do on their various boards and commissions as the liaisons and representatives of the council, and it's just a vital link in addition to the written communications to keep us in touch with what's going on, and there's a lot going on. So let's see, the water project is, I don't know if we alluded to it enough, we're in the sort of advanced stages of discussion with Hoyt Lakes. We've got about the third draft, I think, of the agreement for modifications of the Joint Powers Agreement. Hoyt Lakes' engineering for the project is proceeding very well. And I think we're, as a team on the water board, and looking forward to sort of jointly requesting money from the legislature there. And Hoyt Lakes won't be left there alone to do it. It's something that I think the three communities together will try and do that. So that's going to be coming up there. Let's see, we had a very interesting meeting that I attended yesterday. I don't know, it was sponsored by a group called the National Industrial Transformation Initiative. And the program was put on by the NRI, Northern Research and Resources and Research Institute in Duluth, in combination with a number of other of the agencies. And unlike most meetings I've gone to, it was entirely future perspective oriented. There were some excellent handout materials of what, say, 2040, 2050, the economy of the state of Minnesota is going to look like, how we could position this region, not necessarily just Aurora, but the region for maximally highlighting and showcasing the many minerals, not just the irons that are going on, for potential development in relation to what they actually have in the materials, pre-designed sort of a campus of different types of options of energy provided to for various projects. And of course, data centers are coming up. I don't know that we're necessarily in line, but it was interesting to talk with today at the CAP meeting. Minnesota Power explained, and there's some good handout materials on the nature of the acquisition by these investment funds of the elite corporate family, and goes into some very reassuring points on how the investors that are coming on board with that are not the profit-oriented shareholder type of entities. They're the Canadian Pension Fund and the other one are both looking at long-term, stable operations that build upon the success of Minnesota Power and its sort of unique position. So that both of those sort of forward-looking things. There's some handout materials I'll make sure to make available to Lindsay to hand out. But as we go through our community transformational things, it's nice to have somewhat of a feeling on the broader range economic future, particularly with the serious jeopardy or peril that the iron ore producers are being put in under the proposed sulfate standards. So anyway, that's going on. I think that probably covers some of the more highlighted things that have been going on, and personally glad to be gone with shingles, so get your shingles shots if you're out there. So, and with that, we'll go back to our regular agenda and move to agenda item 17, which is old business. Jeff alluded to, or city administrator alluded to at our agenda planning meeting, to 17.1, the odor on South Street East. Maybe for this audience, do you want to just update that again, maybe?
Yeah, so we are still trying to get a meeting with the property owners where that issue originates, but in the meantime, we do have a grant application in the works for the fix that we had discussed with having a low pressure line to not have that big septic tank that fills up and causes the smell when it empties, that it would be a much smaller pump and would actually cycle through there and not have that buildup of gases. Initial application is in, final application is due December 1st, and Josh and I will complete that and send it to the St. Louis County.
Sounds encouraging. Yeah. It's a problem that doesn't go away without some action, right? So, any further action we need then on 17.1? No, all right. 17.2 is proposed resolution 2025-68 relating to ordinance number 118, and the intent is to repeal existing ordinance section 90.21, and that's in our, isn't that in our new business section or not? I'm just looking at, yeah, I thought, okay.
Yes, there's something on the new.
No.
So that is under new, or do we want to
Nope,
do the rest of it? Okay, all right. So the request of the staff is that we pass this, is that correct? To dovetail with the other actions that will be taken, right?
Already taken
Yeah.
previously.
Yep.
Okay, everyone's got a copy then of proposed resolution 2025-68. Is there a motion to adopt?
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Councillor Hess and supported by
Yeah, support.
Councillor Hanson. And just to clarify, I was talking with Jeff a little bit. 90.21, what is it that, I know we're replacing it with something, but what does it currently provide that we're upgrading, so to speak?
Yeah, it talks about the actual maintenance of buildings, but it specifies siding and siding quality, and things of that nature. And in that recently amended zoning ordinance that we went through pretty extensively, we do address siding. So just two sections that are kind of unnecessary. Councilor Berkeley's brought up a really great point. It's about enforcement. So this would take away the enforcement of this section from the building, or the blight officer, I'm sorry, and essentially give that to the planning and zoning commission, so.
Okay. Great, but any,
Question about it.
Yep.
Ordinance 90 specifically calls out roofing and other materials as well, not just siding.
Mm-hmm.
So we're repealing the entire ordinance. And I know that the new planning and zoning ordinances don't specify roofing types or anything like that, just that it needs to be covered.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure that
we're losing something.
Right. So I don't recognize that question.
There were kind of two parts to that. So are you asking
Yeah.
like the?
Well, so 90 covers roofing and siding.
Yep.
And I know that the new ordinances covered siding, but I don't remember them covering roofing.
We talk about roofing and roof pitch. So I think.
Roof materials.
Yep, not roofing materials, and that was strategic, based on that fact that we kind of, I would say, vamped, for lack of better words, that roof pitch ordinance that we had originally. So based on the roof pitch, it sounded like the material in which they would use would be based on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Councilor Hess, but so we didn't address roofing materials, nor did we address necessarily like specific siding materials in our zoning ordinance. Essentially, it would be like something that would have to be listed out in a permit and approved or not, so.
Councillor Berquist, does that answer your question?
And so we're just that we're no longer going to be enforcing the condition of those materials.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other than the zoning, the commission,
Right.
that's, yep, permit wise.
Materials,
Yep.
not enforcing the materials.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, any other questions or concerns on the resolution? If not, let's see, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's adopted, and I believe that concludes our old business. Moving on to agenda item or category 18, new business. We have the charitable gambling request.
Have left in the gambling fund for the year. How much do we have left in the gambling fund, do you know?
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't have the numbers in front
Just
of
got
me,
another
but
10.
there's a lot.
What's that?
That doesn't go to that, though.
That's okay.
I'll make a motion to donate $500 to Special Olympics.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Hess, supported by Councillor Berquist to do $500 allotment to that Special Olympics. We've donated in the past, haven't we?
We have, yes, and it's my favorite because they hand deliver the thank you note to us, so.
And is 500 kind of consistent with what we've done before?
I think, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a motion and a support. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to agenda item 18.2, charitable gambling request from Wasabi Student Council. Now this is a new one, right?
This is, yes.
And let's see. They're starting a fundraising for a trip that's kind of ill-defined at the moment. Is that correct?
Yes, it sounded like when I spoke to them on the phone, it sounded like they were, based on the amount of donations they get, they'll pick the location, so. To be determined, I suppose.
It might be the A&W.
Yes, could be the A&W, yes.
How far they can get? Is that
Yes,
what-
yep, sounded like it.
Does staff have a recommendation of how much we should donate or whether we should donate?
It does go with our policy, I can speak to that effect. We created that policy a couple years back regarding what entities we will and will not donate to. So it does fit in there. I wouldn't have a recommendation. We did 500 the past
Yep.
request, so perhaps.
I was gonna say 500.
Oh, I see the request is 600 to 1,000.
Yeah, but they send a request to everybody that's got a license.
Yes, they did.
Really?
So same thing says on the same one, I got one just like that.
All right, so let's see.
I'd make a motion to support the Wasabi Student Council with the $500.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councilor McClassich for a $500 grant out of our gambling proceeds, right?
Yeah, made possible by the Aurora Legion and the Caring for Kids.
Okay, and it's supported by Councilor Hess. Any further discussion?
I would just like to add an invitation if they want to learn about local governments, maybe attend our council meetings, and we'd be happy to teach them a little bit more about our local governments. Really local governments.
I had to chuckle at the socialization piece.
I did too. I thought that one was a funny addition.
Go somewhere to talk now?
Right.
Yeah.
They know how to throw words around already. That's good. So, all right, so let's see. We needed a vote, don't we, on this?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Moving to prepared resolution 2025-73, caring for the kids, community donation. The only question I had on that was, what's the event that they're describing? Does someone recall?
Aren't they donating, or are they putting 10,000 into their fund for future use or something like that?
Is that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So with that, those comments in mind, is there a motion to adopt the prepared resolution?
I move we adopt the resolution 2025-73